Gifts of our colors may be different, but God has placed us as to journey on the same path. Those are words spoken by the character in James Fenimore Cooper's Last of the Mohegans. Natty Bumppo, who is the main character in that book, goes by the nickname Hawkeye because his ability to be such a good shooter, and he was he was actually of European ancestry, but was raised by the Delaware Indians, and also was educated by the Moravians at the time, so quite a multicultural thing. And he was really parented in adulthood by Hen Gathcook, who was the chief of the Mohegans, and literally, as the novel ends, the last of the Mohegans. And most of us know about that story. It is, again, this is the 100th anniversary of its publication. It deserves a lot of praise that I've read because other American writers such as Melville and Twain copied Cooper, and the way he it's really interesting the way he put in different cultures and different races intermixed in the American landscape, and that was quite a thing for him. So we can learn a lot from that movie, but that thing about going on the same path, I think is fairly interesting. Last Thursday, August 14th, was the Saint Day in the Episcopal Church for, Jonathan Myrick Daniels. And the Episcopal Church does have saints. We have saints that we honor, not like the Catholic Church. They have not done miracles or anything like that, but people who are exemplar of the Christian faith. And we honor certain ones like Jonathan Myrick Daniels. What Jonathan Myrick was, he was an Episcopal seminary student who went to Alabama from where he was studying in New England. And while he was down there helping with voter registration, he was shot by someone he stepped in front of the unpaid deputy was aimed a shotgun at a young lady, and he stepped in front of it, and he was shot in the chest and killed instantly. And he was basically honored to that. Martin Luther King made the statement that it was one of the most most heroic deeds ever heard of, Christian deeds had ever heard of. So after that, Jonathan Daniels was, this happened 60 years ago, this last week, when he was shot. And he was, he was arrested. He was shot on August 20th, but he has become an Episcopal saint. He has been honored. There's a play written about him. PBS did a documentary about him. There have been 2 books written about him. He is honored in different ceremonies all across the United States, particularly in Alabama where he was shot. And he is a saint and deserves all the praise he has gotten. The Episcopal Church is a little bit different, though, because it also says that all baptized people, all believers, are also saints. We'll all be saints. All, both living and dead, are saints. So all of us have the potential to be saints by our beliefs. So another person who has sort of been missed by history, that as much as I know about Jonathan Myrick Daniels, I've known about him for over 20 years and follow that story. But I found out last week about another person named Richard Marstow. Now, Richard Marstow also was down in Alabama. He was from actually a Catholic priest from Chicago. And he had grown up as a Catholic, going to all boys schools and elementary and high school and college, and became a Catholic priest. And he was very interested in the civil rights movement because of a congregational member. So he was down there in Alabama, and he was also shot by the same person at the same time as Jonathan Daniels. But what Marstow had done, he got in front of another young lady, and they were running away. So he was shot in the back, and the bullet went into his spine. He ended up having to be transported, to Montgomery, where there was 11-hour. Finally got medical treatment. There was 11-hour surgery. Then he stayed in the hospital, for about almost 6 months, and they had a long rehabilitation. Had to relearn to walk, and it took over 2 years to learn that. He is still living today. He's 86 years old and still has to take pain pills for this injury. But a change in his life. Now, he did not become a saint. He was not receive all the praise and honor that Jonathan Daniels did. And Jonathan Daniels deserves all the praise and all the honors that he's received. But Richard Marstow went on, and he had a different perspective on life after not just being a Catholic priest, but being a patient and being in rehabilitation. He saw there were other ways to serve. So after he returned a few years later, he dropped out of the priesthood and went back to school. He became an attorney, later got into city planning, and then later got into education. He is still, I said, living today, but he has He's had a faithful life. He has had a good life of a Christian. And when asked about it last week or a couple of years ago about the person who shot him, basically says, I don't know him enough to hate him or dislike him. Where would it get me anyway? There's no sense in getting bent out of shape over this guy and why he did it. It happened. And Morris Stowe also made the statement to ask about his things and all the pain that he had to go through. He says, if asked to do it again, my answer would be yes. Now, Morris Stowe displays a great deal of faith. He did not become a saint. He is not honored, but he lived a life of faith and a life of a Christian life that deserves to be called a saint, as many others will. And for people like Jonathan Daniels and people like Richard Morris Stowe, we can say, thanks be to God.